All right, November 18th, 25. Bill, Frank, Chuck, Stephen, Tom, Timothy, Susan, Helen, Lynn, and me.
And you, don't
So,
forget the best part.
as I noted, we have a lot of photos, and we'll get through part of it as fast as we can go. And we'll take time for announcements and more talking at the end if we have. So, and I said to some, what I've done that extended this a bit, if not a lot, is I put the original raw file at the beginning of every picture that you did. So they're not all in the same order, but they will be okay, and it didn't save me what I had set. Well, already we're behind. So I'll try this again. You get an idea of how many we have looking at this list. All right, Stephen is up first. And this is the raw file of the tree. And we'll bump back and forth with this. This is his processed.
Okay, all right, so that's the process one, all right.
Stephen, do you have any comments?
Well, I'm hoping that I did the right thing. I'm not trying to pick on Bill, but I thought we were all going to work on Bill's raw files. So I didn't pick any of my own. I just took the three that Bill sent and said, well, let's raw file and see what I can do with it. And I guess what I was trying to do there is I was losing in the front. It was so dark that I couldn't see anything except dark. So it was, primarily focused on that, and then was wanting to change the sunlight cast a bit, which it did. But I guess in general, what seemed to me as I was trying to bring out a little bit more of things that were there but were hidden by the exposure.
It looks like you brought out more of the shadows on the second, below half of the.
Yeah, the lower top, I think, for example, the light pools in there, I think were not visible in the raw file.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, you definitely brought that out more.
Yeah.
that's nice.
And then when I had originally processed mine, you notice a lot more orange on the tree because behind us was a geothermal plant that shone. So somehow I brought, I think, more of the orangey out. But,
Yeah.
Did I see the first one again?
Yeah.
Bill, you also had the advantage of having taken the picture.
Yeah.
So you knew what it looked like to your eye,
Right.
and we didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the second one. Whoops. That's the original. And that's Stephen's. One of the things I think you'll see in this picture is a lot of cropping of one kind or another.
The birds are a lot closer here.
Yeah. There, I was looking at it and, being a bird guy, I thought that the birds was the important thing here. Let's crop it out a little bit to show them. And the mountains,
That's the original.
Yeah.
You know, the mountains probably were like that, but I kind of like to see more of the mountains, so I sort of,
And you brightened it up a
changed
lot.
those a bit so I could see textures and so forth there a little more.
Brought in some
Yep.
contrast.
Yeah, the contrast.
It's nice.
It looks more saturated.
Yes. A lot of haze. Wonder what, and I think that these mountains are kind of typical in all the other shots, but wonder if haze removal would have done anything for it. Maybe. I didn't do this one, but. And then here's the third one. This is the original. And that's Stephen's version.
Again, I guess I was looking at, what seemed important to me there were the chair feature as a, whatever that thing is in the back. But that was what was of most interest to me, so I wanted to crop a little bit to bring those, make those a little more prominent in what we were seeing.
The original is, it probably didn't take a whole lot of work by Bill, but, okay, let me make sure I got these in the right order. Well, wait a minute, let me get this back. I think I'm going to do this because it'd be easier for me to know where I am. Sidebar. Okay, we've done Stevens, and now Bill is up. That's the original again. And there are two, Bill, explain what you did.
Yeah, in this one, I kind of went through, I guess, my normal way of doing things, which is pretty much just straightening, cropping, haze reduction, and primarily what I really did here was a lot of removal, because in the original, there's something down here, I took that out. I went through the water and took out any distractions. And I kind of kept it, I guess, in the way that I always tend to process, post-process. So there's a lot of bluish in this. But you'll see how that changes with the next one, because I actually watched the videos that I send out. And there is a guy who said in post-processing, first step that he does is deals with the temperature.
Okay.
And I had an aha moment.
But this was Affinity.
This was an Affinity, and this one I decided to crop in the 16:9 aspect ratio, so it looked more like a little more like a panorama.
Oh, yeah.
So
Does warm it up a lot, yeah.
what did you change the white balance to?
Well, this was in elements.
And I changed it from 5500 to 7100.
About,
And what that does, it starts bringing more oranges, more warm look to it.
Yeah.
right,
And then what it did at the same time, it brought the little more warmth to the ground, but it also brought a lot more
Yeah.
warmth to the chair.
And that was hard for me.
And so what was it that you used to get that chair like that?
It was, I think I did two steps. One is I warmed it up, because when you're in camera raw, you go over, change the temperature.
Slider.
And I also did a little bit here, I selected the chair and just brightened it up a little bit, just,
Okay.
so come up even just a little more. And then I just did the removal.
that's really nice.
This would be incredible on metal.
Yeah.
And when I look back at what I did last time, when I post-processed it, I ruined it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I could almost see that over the past 3 years now, what I've learned. Because it was just too contrasting,
look how
too
clear
harsh.
that
Look
is.
at that.
Look how clear that is. Yeah.
Wow,
You even got rid of the cow. I couldn't get rid of the cow.
It wasn't a cow.
What?
You talking about that spot that was in one place?
Yeah.
Looked to me like an elephant until I blew it up incredibly, and it was somebody bent over a tripod.
Oh, really? It wasn't a cow. I thought it was a cow.
It looked like an elephant.
First.
That's pretty sharp, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding.
Very sharp.
Need to get a better camera.
Now what, as I could have done a little better as a photographer, instead of shooting from this point, I could have moved over a bit more, maybe separated them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do next month.
Yeah.
If the chair is still there.
Chances are they are.
All right, moving along to Chuck. This is the original tree.
Now you brought out the rocks a lot.
Mike, that's mine.
Uh-huh, yep.
So I was using Affinity, and first I took the raw file and adjusted it I duplicated it, I guess. I took one image and did all the adjustments for the sky that I wanted to see, and then saved it as a TIFF file. Then I went to the raw file again, the same exact raw file, of course, and adjusted the values for the ground and how I wanted the ground to look. And then in Affinity, you can lay the two images over top of each other, and then you can open a mask. And that opening that mask allows you to paint the exposure in like the sky, the proper sky exposure over top of to eliminate the overexposed sky that has the ground correct exposure for the ground. So I didn't do a lot of, I probably did the contrast. I don't think I did any dehazing. Just, changed a few of the light values and contrast and clarity and then combined the two images.
One of the things I saw in looking at all of these is that it seemed to go to silhouette or some color detail in the tree. And this one's a good example of exposing some of the bark and that sort of thing, but very nice. All right, original.
It looks more blue on the screen than I remember. But anyway, what I did there was.
And it's a little blue, and it's on HDR, but mine's not quite as blue either.
Of course, I cropped it. I really, I don't know what the exact dimensions are, but I made it as wide as I could, and yeah, emphasize the birds, and I even did a selection of the sky, a selection of the mountains independently, and dehazed them separately, because it dehazed the whole thing first, and that brought out the ground around the birds that I wanted, and did adjust the contrast and stuff. This is one where Bill sent out the video of this guy, and he has this universal workflow that he calls it. So it's the first time I've ever used I've used all these adjustments, but in this particular order, he suggests you do a prep first, and that's basic stuff like lens correcting, denoising, choosing a color profile, and Affinity's not so big on that. But then the second step is to adjust the light. So I had first adjusted the white balance and the tint, and while monitoring the histogram for the exposure, then I put in some contrast, and I think I did play with the highlights and the shadows a little bit, and I did a curves adjustment. And the last thing I did was the dehaze. So I did it for everything, and then I went back in. I wanted the mountains to be a little more contrasty, so I selected the mountains and did another dehaze, and it brought out those shadows nicely. But then I wanted the sky to be a little more dramatic, so I did the same thing in the sky too.
The only thing about doing your cropping first is that if you ever want another size, you're stuck.
Unless you use Lightroom.
Well, yeah, unless you can go back in that way. I'm not, yeah.
It slightly messed with the straightening, and then now I've looked at it over the past few days, and I didn't feel like going back in, but that little object on the right side, I think I would have removed that.
I would have, yeah.
But there's another bird over there on the left that I didn't notice until I did all my.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
And you shot it.
You shot it, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But when I would zoom in to make adjustments, I was
that's not.
really impressed with how sharp those, all the three images,
Yeah.
super sharp images.
Well, this one here, I was in the back of a RAV4. Everybody else had their cameras down, I had it in my hand, and I had my window down, and the cars were driving along a dirt road, and they stopped because they saw them. Now, I had the camera in my hands, I just put it out the window like this, and I just,
Wow.
Shot it.
they were, in a part of a second later, they were gone.
You sold this picture, didn't you, to somebody? No, I thought
The
this,
tree one I did.
yeah, okay. All right, moving on to Chuck. Oh, this is Chuck's third.
That's the real one we're supposed to do, yeah. So, yeah, I did this a number of times, and then, based on that video that I just was describing, the sequence, I went back in and did it where you do adjust
So that's the original.
the light first, and so I messed with the white balance first, and I decided again to do the crop. When I first started on this, I gotta say, Bill, I really wished I was on the scene and I could move my camera to the left to capture that vector of light that's kind of coming in. I would have put those
Mike,
other things over to
that's
the
the
right side, but
original.
anyway.
Sorry.
So I got rid of that debris on the lower left there also, and yeah, I didn't even think about highlighting or, selecting that chair, because, I wasn't there, so I didn't know there was, interesting detail, but, yeah.
It could be a very big duck.
It could be just a move that you see that,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's, the chair didn't have
But
to.
I was happy with this version, because
Yeah,
I
right.
like the color of the sky
Yeah.
better than,
Yeah.
my other versions were a lot bluer.
I like that.
Interesting how different.
Yes.
They all
Yeah.
do this.
Well, and Helen had a good idea, and I just didn't think of it, but it might have been good to put all of the chair photos together, and there's this, but I used all my creativity just to put these in, so anyway. All right, we're moving on to Frank. Well, I gave it away, Frank,
I
just to
only
say.
did the one photo of the swing set in the chair, but what I liked in that photo was the swing set and the reflection. So I wanted to simplify it and then just crop in just to get that. And so that's what I did on the first one. And so I just, cropped in on the chair, because I love that reflection in the water.
Yes, it was not a bad crop at all.
No, it
Very different.
Yeah, it came out good, and like Bill and everybody, I took out, some of the objects that were in the water, just to clear it all up. So, and also, I didn't want to mess around, I kind of liked that blue hue over the image. It made it seem colder, and that's what I wanted to keep in there, assuming it was a cold morning or whatever, so that's why I didn't change that. All I did really was crop, I moved it a little more towards the blue to bring that out more, and just remove some of those objects in there, and then applied a little dehazing to it. And then on the next one, I took it and I ran it through the Nix software that I have, and just wanted to up the, the tonal contrast in it, to give the clouds more depth, to take it from being flat, to put more depth inside the photo.
Yeah, I like
Even in the
contrast
reflection,
and stuff
they
like that.
come out a lot,
What's that?
even in the reflection, they.
Yeah,
Come out a
it
lot.
brings, like
Yeah.
you can see in the water on towards the right of the, and then the last thing I did was I wanted to see, all right, what does it look like in black and white? So that was the next one. It came out good, but, I prefer the one before it to that. Because I just took that last one and converted to black and white.
I think it makes a good black and white too,
Yeah.
but
I thought it was too blue, so I think the black and white really.
Better.
yeah.
what does make it better. I mean, that's how I would have seen it.
Right.
You know, if I was photographing it, I would have seen that scene in black and white, not in color.
Yeah,
I like how the top of the mountain range in the black and white is separated from the sky as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
the previous one.
Where they run together.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a,
yeah, it does add more contrast between that and the clouds.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, as I said, different, and I like it both. So, thanks, Frank. And Susan is next. This is the original.
It's a mess.
Another different crop.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so here, I use Photoshop elements, and first I had it on auto, so it does adjustments, and then I changed the shadows, and I used saturation, because I wanted to make it pinker. I kind of liked, I kind of felt like there was pink there. I did remove the trash, but I didn't remove that thing behind the chair, which I thought was a horse, because I kind of liked it. And I didn't remove the other thing to the, I didn't remove that, and I didn't remove the other thing to
Yeah, I
the
didn't
right.
either.
And I don't know what they are, but I didn't remove them, but I did remove the trash on the.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, so
okay,
now you
okay.
see the,
And I just like, I thought it was, okay. Anyway, I didn't remove that, but I did remove
Must be one of
the,
our group ethics.
that's right.
yeah.
They jumped out the window and got around it. Oh, wow.
Oh, wait, that's not mine.
Oh, sorry.
No,
No, that's Tom.
there, no,
That's yours. That's the, no,
no.
original. What's going?
Yeah, where's,
isn't that it?
yeah,
No.
so this is
That's
the
the
one
one
just
that
before it,
Fine.
the one.
Unless they're out of order.
No,
Something happened to mine,
It disappeared.
it disappeared.
Well, the guy faced.
Maybe the
taken
cow
by
ate
it.
it.
No,
No,
it
that's
disappeared.
the original. actually.
That's the original.
Yeah, well, the other one's
Disappeared,
just
right?
gone.
Where could it have gone?
We saw it.
Yeah,
I have
I know, it's.
5-1 and 5-2, so it's, and 5-1 would have been,
It was there a minute ago.
It was
Huh.
on the
Could
phone.
it be on the?
well,
bottom?
let me do this just real quick.
Disappeared to the bottom?
Probably.
Well, the way these come up,
Yeah, it was there a minute ago.
Where is this, Bill? Where's this paper?
This is the Salton Sea
Okay.
out in Imperial
Show all the
Valley of
pictures.
California,
It was got moved to the bottom?
going back out
All right,
next month.
like it, huh?
I do, I really do.
It was 5-2.
well, now I don't know what I've done.
Yeah.
Share.
But so far, they all were
Okay.
running in order.
It was there a minute ago.
Did you see it? Up there, did you see?
It was up there a
We
minute
saw
ago.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was,
okay.
it was cropped a lot.
Now I'm trying to share and it's not letting me share.
Is that over on the right?
Preview
Oh, yeah.
and share. Well, now I can't even get back to the others.
It seems to me before you didn't press share a second time, you just pressed the,
Do you have
Yeah, that's all I
a
did.
list of print pictures?
And it may already be there. Oh, well. Go back through the menus. Well, let me try this once more.
It got moved somewhere.
And see,
Or could it be at the
this
bottom?
is not moving.
It was scrolling.
I'm gonna. What am I looking for? Where is get rid of share? Oh, goodness.
well, he's suffering the death.
What if you took the
Oh,
slider on
wow.
the left and went up and down?
No, it won't move.
Oh.
Yeah, it's frozen.
I went
Yeah,
wild
they
with,
would-
with color, but then I got stuck and didn't even submit it.
Oh,
It just, I couldn't get it like I wanted it. I knew that was too much color, but.
Did you, what were you using, saturation to get that, or did you use
Curve.
temperature?
have you used Affinity?
I was in affinity and curves
Uh-huh.
and just got it a little too far, and then I started over and got it further, and then I started over and then got it further, and then I started over and gave up.
What was curves?
Curves,
Is that in Affinity?
May
or
I
that's
see the
another?
picture?
That's Affinity you were using?
And curves is separate.
Yeah, I think
Mike,
curves-
if you just wanna skip it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. I mean, this is what I put up the first time,
Yeah,
and I don't know what happened to it.
yeah, maybe it's at the bottom or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come to it later.
Maybe it got cropped so much that it disappeared.
Yeah,
Or the cow could have eaten the picture.
That guy had taken the pictures what I thought was the.
nope, it's not there.
No, it's not there.
Disappeared. Oh my goodness.
It was eaten by Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to it.
Anyway, it was cropped.
All right, Tom is up.
so that's the original.
Ooh, yeah, and also you changed the lighting. I like that.
Yeah, it looks more natural than what.
That is, yeah.
What was that in Affinity?
You know, I was thinking, I wasn't enjoying this project. I enjoyed it, but I just absolutely love this photograph.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, this is not your photograph, don't mess with
No,
it.
okay.
Plagiarism.
Yeah, it felt weird to fool around with it, but of course I did, but, I just did, in this particular one, I thought, no, I'm just gonna put the photograph up there, I love it, and, I went through some blend modes in Affinity, and, I remembered that it was the salt and sea, so, and I think I brought out the salt mode in the foreground.
Well, Tom found the elephant, or the, what did you call it, Helen?
Oh, it was a cow.
Cow, yeah, it's gone, and
I got rid of it, and there was another box there, and there several things on the horizon, however, I left
yeah,
all
there
those.
was a building over on the right that you
Yeah,
took up.
I ditched those, and, but really, I didn't do a whole lot, I did like bringing out the salt and the rocks, and,
You got the chair to come out more. That was nice.
yeah, I did, I worked on that a little bit, but not much. Basically, I just loved the photograph and left it alone.
I think your reflections are more contrasty than, I'm looking at the one that I did, and mine are much softer, I like the definition.
That's nice.
The reflection
definition.
in yours has really good definition, I think, and in fact, I noticed the mountains being reflected, and I went back and looked, and you can see them, but they're really obvious.
Oh, yeah.
in your-
A lot of fog.
In the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the sky. I like the contrast a lot.
I liked it, and, you know, I thought, you know, it's water, but there's not a lot in there that says it's water. And so I do some things in, I forget what it was, contrast, I think, that brought out that, the ripples in the water.
The rocks also look really good too.
Yeah, I like those things in the water, I left them. Anyway, this was just a simple, going through the,
Yeah.
I go through the first
nice.
things, I go through levels, and then I do white balance, and then I do contrast and, what's the other one? And then shadows and highlights. And then I usually do an HSL check.
HSL.
Hue saturation.
Oh, okay.
And I increase the saturation a fair amount.
Nice shot. All right.
And then I have another one.
Um,
Oh, no, you didn't get my second one.
I did not.
Of
It's
the,
there, it's there.
of the same image.
No, it's the same image,
Yeah.
it's just a
Yeah.
chair, I took a picture of just a chair.
Now you got me worried that I missed another one, but
He said, I took a picture just to check.
I thought you were gonna, I did actually say to Mike when I sent it, I said, you know, I kind of left everything as it was. I thought somebody would turn it upside down, turn the whole picture upside down and do it sideways, and I actually looked at that to see what it would look
Oh,
like.
yeah.
I left it right side up.
I can show you my.
yeah, that's the only one I got, and that's what I said in my note. I have your photo. So,
Here we go. Anybody want to see it?
okay,
Oh, yeah.
Now, wait a minute, what is this picture?
Just the
Can you
chair.
see it, Mike?
Oh,
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Boy, I like the color.
that's nice.
Can I see it? then?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be the turner.
Close-up of the tree, I'm sorry, of the seat.
Maybe Mike sold it. You got-
It's gone with my picture.
Oh, that is nice.
I think I put a post-processing light on that chair.
Like, pop it.
Yeah, I put a light on it.
Well, why don't you send it to me and we'll put it in next time to give everybody a view of it.
Okay, I will do that one.
All right, Lynn's up. Original,
Nice.
Oh, boy.
So I use Lightroom, and I didn't crop this one at all. But I did the haze reduction, and I adjusted the blacks and the whites, contrast, not contrast probably so much as saturation. It's less orange than the original, so I don't know if that's a detraction or.
this one, and I would have to go back to look at others, but there's a little bit of the clouds that come up, just barely, but they're,
Oh, yeah, behind the,
yeah.
yeah, behind
Anyway. That's that. This one, I cropped, that's the original,
Original.
Oh,
and that's a lot to keep.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to put the birds on one of the
Yeah.
third lines.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to keep all of the water on the right. And I tried to straighten it, and then I started looking at the bird legs. And I decided I needed to have straight bird legs, so I left it based on that. But I did haze reduction, and I mean, I typically don't do a whole lot to pictures. I adjust the blacks and the whites, the exposure if I think it's under or overexposed, and highlights and shadows. And then I do saturation and haze reduction. I think on this one I did do a clarity slider. That can get overused, I think. And I checked all of them for denoising, but I don't think any of them had noise to denoise, so I didn't use it. And I adjusted for my camera lens, but that's it.
Oh, that was nice. Nice color in there.
Yeah.
Nice warmth through all the colors.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks good.
What about taking out a little bit more of that foreground, that grass and?
Coming closer.
Taking out more of it,
Yeah, you can get closer to see the birds.
so that the birds would be closer in.
I did one version where more of the foreground was out and the mountains and the sky was out. I brought it right down just to the birds.
Birds, okay.
And it gives it like a total different look.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I mean, that's
Tom,
the
I
main
think I
thing.
did crop some of the bottom out, but
Yeah, I
maybe
can
just
see
not
that.
enough.
Well, I mean,
It's all relative.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
rid
yeah.
of it.
Yeah, part that was not in focus.
Weeds or whatever there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then it's
so I
gone.
did get
They're
rid
just
of,
not saying much.
I just could have done it some more, I guess.
All right, chair.
That's the original. Oh, so I left the guy with a tripod, I didn't know what it
It's a
was.
horse, I'm telling you, it's a horse.
So
No, it's an elephant.
I think I I may have straightened this one a little bit, and I too left the pieces in the water because I was seeing the ones on the far left, and I thought, well, they're all along, and so I just left them there. I would like to have had more color in that chair like some of you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it was amazing how much detail there was in that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
I-
you
I
brought it
was
out.
shocked when
I
I started
think-
with it.
I think this was the one that I raised the horizon a little bit. I think I cropped it from the top, so there was less sky and keeping the foreground.
Yeah.
And the poor guy still huddled over his tripod.
I just love the reflection of that swing set. This is.
all right.
That's that.
This is the original for Timothy.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I
Wow.
Yeah, I just, I don't do a lot of post-production because, I even just got a notice from Lightroom that says, we noticed you haven't used it in 2 months. I just don't do a lot of post-production now. I had altered these as if I had shot them. And if I seen that scene the way it was, I would have shot it in black and white. So I really just removed the color and added some contrast to this one. And I did use Lightroom, even though it's been a few months.
I'm sure they were happy to see you back.
They were happy to see my payment.
That's all they care.
So they hear. Anyway, so that's how I saw it. I really liked the black cloud on the left.
Yeah.
I didn't want to remove it.
Yeah,
And again, I don't do a lot of post-production. I didn't do much contrast and remove color, and I think I might have done maybe just a little bit of saturation.
Yes, I think-
Once I got it black and white.
I think of that little distraction, we're gone from the left lower side.
I actually like that. I
You do?
thought it was, is it trash? Is it actually
Rubber
trash?
I think it's a roll of toilet paper.
Light fixture.
I thought it was toilet paper as well, but it's not. It looks like some kind of,
It's a rubber glove and a light fixture.
yep, I can see the glove.
Oh, God.
It's a light fixture.
Trying to say glove. That's right.
See how the contrast brought the texture in those rocks.
I thought it was disgusting.
Disgusting.
Actually, that image right there, just a,
Well, I thought about doing that.
yeah,
You could have just picked it up.
I like those dark clouds, give it the
Or
name.
you removed
Yeah.
it before you took the picture. Oh, you mean with the post?
that might be part of the art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
go out there and
I left
say,
it,
don't change
it
that.
didn't bother me. The blue bothered me. It was too blue for me. It looked
Yeah.
like I was shooting Ektachrome.
No.
If anybody's ever shot Ektachrome, runs
Yep.
blue.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not a big post-production guy, so I kind of had fun with it.
All right, this is obviously,
First one, or the.
See, having been an assignment photographer, if I was sent out to shoot the birds, I wouldn't have wasted my time to get everything else. But later I looked at it and saw that it wasn't quite as sharp as I would have liked.
Yeah.
I would have used the sharpness a little more. But, I'm 2 months out of Lightroom, so I was like fumbling around. But I thought it was distracting to have everything else. So for me, if I saw that scene, I probably would have used a longer lens and just shot the birds. But as I brought it in, it got fuzzy,
Right.
Anyway,
I think the fuzzy part's just at the bottom.
Yeah.
I liked the distraction of the grass. I felt like that you were shooting through it.
Uh-huh.
You were down low, like the guy in the back in the other photo, but anyway, this one,
I played like, knowing that it wasn't sharp
yeah?
because of the circumstances that I got the image at all.
Is that
Yeah.
when you shot moving in a car?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
That would explain it.
using textures, giving it a little different feel to it. Get it away from being a photograph into
Right.
maybe a little texture or so.
and this one is the
To me, I
tree.
thought-
That's the original.
Yeah, I got rid of all the black instead of lightening it, because the subject is the sky and the tree and the silhouette of the tree, to me. I felt like the foreground was, the only value in the foreground to me was the water and the reflection. I felt like the rocks were a distraction for me. So I just wanted to, I popped the sky, add a little color. I think I did this one in Lightroom also. I first wanted to make it just as, I wanted the tree black, as a silhouette. I don't know. That's how I would have shot it. I would have stopped down and probably made the tree darker even. I couldn't figure out.
And as I was saying, they're either silhouettes or like Frank's that had some detail in the
Yeah.
bark.
Yeah, you get a choice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The color's nice.
And what's interesting is the fact that it is important, so you have been there to see what it should be, or what.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to, if I would have been there, I would have shot it probably even different than this. But you're right, you're working with someone, I feel bad for editors now, because it's really, it must be really hard to edit other people's work,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, I was on a trip with a National Geographic photographer, and they take their images and they send them as they are, right out of the camera, to the magazine, and the magazine editors do all the work.
Right,
Really?
right.
Absolutely, they
Yeah,
don't do
well, as a
anything.
assignment photographer, you
That's
wanna
interesting.
do it the way you see it and try and fix it because of that. It's same like, when I work for newspapers and magazines, the same thing. You send in the photo and then you see it in the paper and you go, what? Why'd they eliminate that kid on the bike or something, But,
There was an article that Bill sent around, and I don't think this was in the article, which I read, but it was one of those side things that comes up on YouTube, and the side bit was RAW or JPEG, and the bottom line was just what you said, but there's another point that if you are on a time deadline, you have to shoot in JPEG, and before you even sit down, you throw the photos out to whoever's going to edit them.
right.
And the other thing that really hit me was the comment that you should start processing your stuff through RAW. When you see the processing on RAW and compare it to the JPEG, and the article said, when your JPEG looks worse than the RAW, then you should. But and again, with JPEG is not a RAW. I mean, you have all those settings, saturation, all of those things in the menus of the camera that you're putting impressions on that it's not just like the camera sees it native. But it really hit me about and the other reason for keeping RAW, even if you're not shooting it or not processing it originally, says as your talents develop, you may find some RAW that you would be able to use. But anyway.
But like, what I do is I shoot one SD card RAW and one JPEG.
Yeah, me
And
too.
then I do my editing from the RAW, and I file the JPEG. I save all of my SD cards. I never erase them if it's assigned, because someone's gonna come back and go, you took pictures of my whatever, and my grandfather was there, and he passed away, and I'd like to get some of those photos, so I wanna be able to go back so I keep a file of all my SD cards from the original. I don't alter them. I alter one of the SD cards, then erase it.
All right, last picture is mine. The original.
Nice, that looks great.
Got the chair.
Yeah, you got both, kinda.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And you left the horse in, good.
I did. I didn't know what it was at first.
That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I did anything different than, but for one thing, well, I've done this occasionally, but not very often. I took the raw into NX Studio, which is like Camera Raw, and I just put the middle shot that, well, I shouldn't say it that way. I took the original raw and then saved it at +1 exposure and made another copy and set it at 1 negative. And so I had 3, which I would normally have shot in a bracketing, and then put them into Photomatics, or it would be, I think it would work for any processing for HDR, but and then I just pretty much did everything else that was. I did get rid of the glove or toilet paper or whatever it was, and I think I may have cropped it out.
So because you did the +1 in mind, is that what got the chair red?
Yeah, some of it, and that it originally got started on just the raw, and it didn't have any color in there, and that was an important thing to me.
Yeah.
And but anyway,
Wow.
Catches your eye.
I think it's interesting, this assignment was different because the result here today, we really get to see what each person does differently and how we see it differently. We don't, with the normal, when we show our pictures that we do, like we're gonna go out and shoot a tree, we don't really get to see, the bracket or the 3 that you do. I shoot a million 3s, but I thought this was a good assignment, except that it was hard to alter some of your photos. Because I thought that, I felt like an editor, and I don't like editors, so that made it hard, but I think overall, today really iced it for me, because I think it really helped us see how we all see differently. How we see it differently.
And also like how much processing, like some people do a lot of processing and some people don't do as much,
Right.
So it's kind of interesting too to see
Well, it's the
that.
whole thing, like with the processing, when we go into like Camera Raw, and you have all the exposure, you have temperature, you have all these different things that you can adjust, your contrast, your saturation, blacks and whites. And to me, what drives me crazy, I don't know if I'm going down that list, if I've made an adjustment and one of the ones below,
That's
gonna
effective.
go against it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I try to keep my processing as simple as possible, because I don't know what all these sliders do. And yeah,
Well, that's what my wife said to me once, my wife's a painter, and I showed her a photograph. She was there when I shot it, and then she looked at what I did, and she said, you do what I do sometimes, you overwork it. And she brought up a really good point, and I went back and looked at, it was a portrait of a couple of brides that I had done, and she said, you overwork it. And as a painter, she does that sometimes. And I find that once I get into post-production, I can overwork it real easy. Just stop. I just want to say, this looks good, stop. But I keep going, well, maybe So.
just like out of this whole process and the couple YouTube videos that I sent out, I found that starting at the beginning, checking that temperature slider is important.
Yes, it is.
And I've never done that before.
Those were eye-opening to me, those
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
Because I don't do any post-production much, and I learned a lot from those videos. The first guy had me a little confused, but yeah.
I think you get copies, as I go along sometimes.
It's in an email Bill sent.
See, I got a lot of work to do, 'cause
Yeah.
then I can go back.
Is
and
that
say,
Susan's
well,
picture?
Did I overdo?
Yeah.
Like this was better.
That's the picture.
Come back, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That's the
like,
original.
like with the
On
tree,
the bottom, the one below.
we spend about 2 hours
There you
in
go,
that
there's your
general
picture.
area.
There it
And
is.
we're waiting for the sun to go down, to go to this
That's-
specific
that's-
tree, because behind us was a geothermal
That's the
power
disappearance
plant that had
picture.
these orangey lights on it.
Lights on it.
So when you see, what I remember seeing, and when I processed it, that tree is orange.
Right, because you saw it, because it was that way,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was another interesting thing that comes out of here is, yeah, it does make a difference if you were there.
For sure.
Anyway, this is Susan's, and I'm sorry, I don't know what happened, but this is the original. And it's another good crop.
She made it
Whose is
square.
that?
That's mine.
It's Susan's,
That's
yes.
the one we lost.
Yeah, that's the one that got
I
eaten.
did change the sky some, so if you look at the original, go to the original,
That's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I
Yeah.
made it like, if you go to mine, made it pinker.
okay.
I like having more
Right.
pink in
I
it.
agree, I thought it was too blue to begin with.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Was it cold?
No,
See, the picture's misleading, because you think it's cold because
Yeah,
it's
right,
all
that's-
blue.
yeah.
Was it early morning?
this was evening.
Because usually evening light's orange and morning
Blue,
light's
the blue
blue,
hour.
Yeah,
you know? But you had all that water to reflect that sky.
So was it after
That's the
sunset?
blue thing.
It was, well, you can see it's all cloudy, I'm not sure where
So if it's after
the
sunset,
sun
that's
was
what they
at the
call
time,
the blue hour.
but,
Would make things look blue.
yeah, in the summertime, standing there, it'll be 125 degrees, and in December, it's
Yikes.
probably about 70.
Tom, do you want to send me the second picture?
Send it to you right now.
Okay.
Helen, why don't you send yours in?
I don't even have my passwords with me.
That one,
Okay.
But I mean, for next
I'm
time,
really impressed by that picture.
Oh, thanks. See,
It's a wonderful picture, I would never have seen that.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like it.
That's the impressing part of it. I
A lot
looked
of
at that, and
color.
said, wow,
but just
I
send it
had
in. so
no
we can
idea that
see.
was in the picture at all.
Oh, really?
I think it's beautiful.
That's amazing shot.
Yeah, I mean, if I'd been there, I would focus on that chair, because it's so interesting, you know?
Well, 45 megapixels, you can crop it.
that's right. Yeah, you can take a lot out with that, starting off with that.
Yeah, this picture was from a place called Bombay Beach out there in the Salton Sea. And basically, the whole beach, probably for about a mile, is basically art installations. And they, like there's a telephone booth there with a phone hanging, there's somebody created a little bar, somebody created a little chapel. And it just constantly changes. So that's why I'm interested, about going back next month.
So is the swing an installation or what was?
Yeah, that's an installation. It's been moved before, because the Salton Sea is constantly shrinking.
Drinking, yeah.
So it was back on the beach again, but at the beach is actually not sand, it's actually dead fish bones that have been just crushed into, because there's millions of fish that have died since the sea went from being usable to salt, and now it's toxic.
Yeah.
And now they found lithium there.
The old Tesla battery.
All right, this is the missing
The missing.
bills.
Tom's.
Yes.
What was that now?
This is the original of the one you
Got the
did.
missing one up there.
Oh, how'd you get it? Oh, I just sent it to you.
And this is,
The original? Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I find that really an interesting.
Yeah, I see what you
photo.
mean about that, Tim.
I mean, how often do you see a wicker chair sitting in the lake?
Well, that's what I thought. It's
Yeah.
just too cool.
I want the chair to be more to the left. I
yes.
don't know why.
Well, it's looking into the picture then,
Yeah.
not out of it.
Yeah, I think it's better composition that way.
If you were sitting in the chair, you'd
Stones
be,
and walls.
I don't know.
And what are the two little things?
Stones, I thought, the
Where you
rocks,
get, the two little,
the rocks.
That's a gator sneaking up on the chair.
Well, I mean, I brought it up to the right and had it faced the wrong way because this whole thing is wrong. What's this?
That's true too.
It's like one of those, find what's wrong with it.
Yeah. What's this chair
And
doing?
sometimes when I see, I understand the idea of looking into the center of the image, And sometimes with somebody who's doing something positive or a positive face, but sometimes when you see images where somebody is in despair, having them looking out of the image tends to be more powerful.
Yeah.
And with the coloration of this, and that it's empty,
Yeah.
like its soul is empty, looking out
Yeah.
could,
I definitely put a light on this, and then, when you do that, the light was coming in this way. When you do that, you have to erase every place where the light isn't. Where you don't want the light, you see these streaks coming in, it doesn't look good. And it worked well, but then I wound up with this halo
Yeah.
that I don't like, and I'm not sure why, but I couldn't get rid of it.
That's what I ended up with, and I gave up.
I went over it and over it and over it, you
I
know,
did too.
football season, so. I went over and over and over, and I, you know, tried to, what I could do now, I'd try again, would be to, rather than try to take the halo out, I could clone in
Okay,
everything that's right next to it and go
Yeah.
right up the.
true.
Tedious.
I tried that.
Oh, you tried it? Then
I couldn't get
Let's
it
see
to
your,
help.
let's see your picture again.
upscaling maybe tighten it
It's
up,
embarrassing.
because it's really,
yeah, I wonder how many.
No, it's
It's
not.
way overdone.
it's gotta be pretty low compared to maybe an upscale.
That really is a neat picture.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat image.
Well, thanks, Mike. I'll try to.
Yeah,
continue
sorry
this
that-
going back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we made it with even a few minutes to spare. Stephen brought up an idea we can talk about, and maybe just a little bit to introduce the idea and then talk about it at the next meeting. But, and Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank and Lynn and I had a similar problem, that we were in another group for ukuleles of all things. And they were trying to set meetings on the first and third, or the second and fourth Tuesday. And that would, because we're doing every other week, some of those dates work and some of them didn't.
Right.
Depending on how long.
You would rotate around and then have a conflict.
Yeah, exactly. And Stephen's talking about a conflict that comes up every once in a while, and I don't know how many times over the course of a year, but it happens. Whether we talk about it now or later, the question is, do we want to shift from every other week to first and third, or second and fourth?
I think second and fourth is the ukulele thing.
Right.
Yeah, so well, and that's not going to start until January.
Right.
But,
So we should think about this and then,
well, did I hit it the way you wanted to, Stephen?
Yeah, I guess, I think usually just most groups are gonna do it on, some kind of, first or third, second and fourth. The plus of what we're doing is, if you do have conflicts, sometimes you don't.
Yeah,
So you'll always have a shot at it. But, if with the other groups, you can work with them, whatever we might decide, if you work with the other groups, well, could we do that in such a way as, you could do everything that way, whereas if we're doing it as we do it right now, if other groups are setting it on set dates, you're gonna miss some.
well, the other thing that would make this easy is that I scheduled meetings through December. And if we wait until December to start the process, if there'd be a new schedule anyway. But we don't need to take a vote. But we can talk about it some more and look at your calendars to see if you already have some conflicts.
Yeah.
So you wanna do it every third week, Tuesday, is that what you said, or
Or
It-
like the first and third week.
Yeah.
first and third?
First and third.
Yeah,
Never remember.
And you can always bring your ukuleles and entertain. I'll bring mine.
Got 5 of them. There you go.
24 meetings.
You can join our ukulele group.
well, he's a good guitar player,
Frank,
so.
you're gonna do your thing on the 16th, are people together?
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
so I only heard back from, I think, 2 people, but we're thinking of having like a little party the day of the 16th, you know, when we have our, meeting, and then have, bring in some stuff and. You know,
like we
after-
did last
During
year.
the 16th.
You know, those here, how many would be interested in doing that?
Sure.
All right,
Be happy
so,
to.
yeah, I think we have enough.
I'll be on a plane coming back.
Okay.
And don't bring any of that food.
Yeah.
I'll bring you some real salt.
All right, what's the next challenge?
The next one is bumper stickers / billboards.
Okay,
And I-
billboards,
I'll be there.
bumper stickers.
I'll be in New York.
Oh,
That is the December 2nd, is
it's a nice time of year to
is
go
the
up
bumper
there.
stickers, December 16th.
It's a nice
is
time
the
to go
party.
up there.
Except I have to go up there twice.
Okay, with that announcement, I'm gonna end the
Once, because my niece is getting married.